Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my video. Depending on what the title says or what I decided to be, yes, today's video will be discussing the verse of One Piece. Now, I will be going over how powerful and how strong One Piece truly is. So fasten your seatbelts, grab some popcorn, anything around you, just sit down, relax, and enjoy this video. Now, to start this off, right, is that we're gonna go back into pre-time skip, right? We're gonna go back to pre-time skip, and we're gonna go over the fact that about Blackbeard, of course. So Blackbeard, right, he was described to have this the Yami Yami fruit, right? The Yami Yami fruit being darkness. So in the translations of the data books, darkness, he has darkness that nullifies abilities, and earthquake that has absolute offense power. It is controlled at the same time and is truly the strongest. Well, if controlled at the same time, it is truly the strongest. So that's already crazy, right? Not only that he has the power to nullify abilities, but he also have an attack that is completely absolute. I'll go into further details of that later on. But moving on, it's also stated in the manga and by Blackbeard himself that his darkness is infinite, and he can crush anything with his darkness, gravity, with infinite power. Now, it's also been stated that the gravitational energy or gravitational force, it states that pretty much gravity has an infinite range, right? So for that, right, his gravity can even pull in light. He said not even light cannot escape. That would mean like Blackbeard literally has infinite power. So what is that? What I'm saying is that Blackbeard has infinite power on a 3D scale. That is the true definition of high universal, if you go look it up on Versus Battle Wiki, right? And this counts because the darkness, he said he is made of darkness, right? Blackbeard says he is made of darkness, and the darkness is gravity, infinite gravity. And well, that's pretty much the gist of it. Now, to nail this on the coffin, people, because I know people are going to probably just downplay this, in the data books, right, pretty much Oda went over the fact of what a natural occurring phenomena is, because in the Road to Laugh Tale, it states that logias are natural phenomenons, natural occurring phenomenons. And he says in the data books that he's going to go over natural occurring phenomena of a black hole, and pretty much it goes to say that it is linked to Blackbeard, because he goes on to say that Blackbeard has the power of the Yami Yami fruit that causes it to generate itself and swallow anything it touches with its gravitational pull. The power of this technique is so powerful that it can swallow an entire town. Also, this technique is said to have infinite gravitational pull that does not let light escape, any light to escape. It can be said that this part resembles a black hole in a celestial body. However, while those who are sucked into a celestial black hole can never come out again, Blackbeard can release those swallowed in at once because he has control of it. Now, Blackbeard believes that the darkness fruit is the strongest, and he spent decades as a sailor on the Whitebeard pirates that were to obtain it. And after becoming an ability user, he has acquired the power of this fruit that Whitebeard had. and Blackbeard has yet to show the full extent of his abilities. So yes, Blackbeard is high universal. With that being said, now some people gonna say, okay, that doesn't really make any sense. Oh, it's contradictory, or it doesn't really make sense for the story. It actually does, because the One Piece planet is a lot larger than you think. I have well, not me, but my friend has calculated the One Piece planet to be 9 times larger than that, and as a highball is even beyond that. It could be infinite in size. Now let me explain. Marco, when in the same panel, who says that it's to over 20 million islands, right? He says that there is no mathematical way to count all of the islands in the world. You could take that with a grain of salt, but that means the One Piece planet is a lot larger than you think. Far larger than you think. Okay? So, yeah, the One Piece planet is freaking crazy. Now, moving on from Blackbeard, right? We're going to move on to other things, like the book fruit. Now, let me just go over what the book fruit has been translated to. The book fruit is it allows the person to invite you into the world of books with infinite imagination. The bookman can trap creatures inside its books with the power of its devil fruit, and stores his mother's collections of books. The books contains his mother's collections of rare beasts, and he is the first son of the category family to eat the book fruit, or the book no Mi. He uses his abilities in wide ranges of ways, such as imprisonating objects in other worlds created by his imagination or in books themselves. Now, take note, when he said other worlds, the Japanese, the kanji used here is isekai, which translates to different world or parallel universe. Yes, different world or parallel universe. And it has been stated by Big Mom in the anime that these books contain an infinite universe, and in the manga it says it's infinite in size, right? So at the bare minimum, that's high universal feat for Mont Dior, and able to create an infinite size 3D construct, right? And not only that, but this is in the working. There's a working clock in the dimension that works as a separate universe. That would, via the test, would be enough to conclude a time dimension being present, therefore having its own space-time continuum, which would put it at universal plus. Yes, universal plus. And to each book has this scaling, because there's always an infinite universe in a book. Well, this would actually mean that the book fruit has a multiversal plus ranges of these universes, right? Yeah. So it's fucking crazy. Already crazy. That's like multiversal plus ranges right there. So now we got the book fruit out of the way. Let's get into more of the crazy scalings. Now, into the more crazy scalings right here. We're gonna move on to one of the main characters of this video, which is Toki, the wife of Odin. Toki has the time fruit, and let me state what the data books had to say about her. Now, basically what the data book says about her is that she transcends time. Let me repeat that. She transcends time, or it says beyond time. I dreamt of the future, which is Odin's beloved's wife. she has the time fruit that allows her to transcend time. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind later. All right, keep that in mind for later. Transcend time. And not only that, right, but since it transcends time, it also means that she will transcend space. So now look, it will also mean that she would transcend space, because according to my research here, that time is the fourth dimension of the universe. Basically, if she transcends time, she would be fourth dimensional, or you could say fifth dimensional, right? Fifth dimensional, because time and space are indeed linked to each other, and it's not possible to have space and matter without time. It's just not possible. So that means she would transcend both space and time. This will make her basically 5D. Yes, this will make her 5D. Now, according to basically if you want to use versus battle wiki, that's basically low complex multiversal. Low complex multiversal. And for those who are using character stats and profiles wiki, that's multiversal plus, or high multiversal. Now, basically, right, if you can transcend time and space, you're fucking broken, right, by default. But people, let me just explain what devil fruits are, because basically devil fruits are basically conceptual in a way. So it's been stated that each devil fruit embodies a different wish for someone have for the evolution, or another translation, possibilities of human evolution. And Odo even describes this very concept in an interview back in 2014, where he explains that the idea behind creating devil fruits arose from the wishes that people would have, such as wanting to have a smooth skin or wanting to have multiple hands. And he was much like the people of One Piece world to create these fruits from wanting to fulfill a certain wish. So I guess the people wants to control time itself. Who knows? But yes, she would transcend time. That's already freaking crazy as it is. Already freaking crazy. And not only that, people, but Toki even says that she was born 800 years ago, and yet she's 26. So yeah, she pretty much transcends time. Now, for people to say, "Oh, don't take that into consideration. That's just the data books. It's probably not. It's probably, it could get contradicted." No, here's where you're wrong, right? Because through the pretty much in a public interview between Capi and Najo, which is pretty much the One Piece editor, shows that Oda personally supervises the theory cards, and they are 100% canon, and also writes in it, and he checks every character in the theory card as missing information. And even Oda states in the SBS, he states that the SBS and bonus material should be used as extra information. So with that being said, yes, all of this is taken into consideration. Come on, people. There's also moving on from here, right? We have the Dorador fruit. The Dorador fruit, right? Now, people has been speculating if this is like a eternal dimension that he's going through the air door. Here is your answer. So it has been translated, right? In one translation, that the door can not only be only to taste or to be used as a doorway, but it also is a doorway to a space that does not exist. Meaning that he's moving in a place that doesn't exist. What does that say to you? But that's one translation. What is the other translation, right? Well, I'm about to tell you. In one of the translators that has translated this page says that It is the door fruit is a superhuman devil fruit that allows you to create doors on any substance you touch. Doors can be created not only on walls and floors, but on human faces and empty spaces. And the uses of this wide ranging. When you open the door, it leads to another dimension, and you can move into another place by using that space. It's also a door that creates this ability to disappear without leaving any trace when it's closed. Bam. Bam. It is another dimension. There you go. Another dimension. Now, I'm going to lead up to what all this means later. I'm going to lead it all to what all this means later. But keep that in your head, Pete. Please keep that in your head. Because it's already fucking crazy as it is. It already is. So, with that being said, people, let's move on to the next character. But before I move on to the next character, let me go to the translation of the real translation of what Vegapunk says about devil fruit users. It says that an ability user is the many things that someone envisioned, or those who live in a different dimension. Or ability users are people who live in many different dimensions someone envisioned. And they actually mean it. They actually mean it. The kanji actually means dimensions. Which means that all the dimensional things we've seen in One Piece, the infinite dimensions and stuff like that, are actual dimensions. They're actually, actual dimensions. Especially the Time fruit, which is 4th dimensional. Telling you, if they pretty much live in many different dimensions, 4th dimension is one of them. I'm just saying, okay? Now, moving on to the Goat Monkey D. Luffy. Now, what did they say? What did they really say about Gear 5 Luffy? Let's us go into the translations. What it says is that it's unpredictable, free, and irregular. Gear 5 Action Collection. Gear 5, which Luffy himself said, I can do everything I want to do. I can do everything I want to do. Is characterized by free actions that goes beyond common sense and changes his reactions when attacked. Its body has the properties of rubber itself and can freely change its shape. It makes people laugh and frees them from suffering. Now, let me just go over what that actually means, okay? What the translator has says. What I asked him, what does beyond common sense actually mean? He says transcends logic. Luffy transcends logic in Gear 5. I'm not saying base form or Gear 4th. Gear 5 transcends logic. What else do I even need to tell you? That's already fucking broken. Luffy transcends logic? Come on, man. He transcends logic. Okay, people. Okay. Because we're not done here. Because, like, I'm going to go back to this. But in another translation, with the actual raw scans, of when Gear 5 was revealed in his intro. It says that like the devil fruit is escaping from us. It is not a story. Intentions resides in animal type fruit. What's more, this fruit is the name of God. Of God, not a God. 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 It's just he's God. What do? Okay, look. You can take it as you want. I know there's like the God of the forest, God of the rain, God of the sun, and the God of the I forgot the last one, but yeah. But it's another name for the gum fruit is the human fruit, Nika. Its body has the properties of rubber itself. And it's said that he fought in his imagination, not he's limited by his imagination when fighting. That he can fight in his imagination and make people smile. The awakening is said to give the gum body even more strength and freedom. Even more strength and freedom. Fucking crazy. That is ridiculous. That is straight up ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous power in the world, and it's ridiculous. Now, look, people. All right. Now we're going back to what it says about Luffy being beyond common sense or transcends logic, right? If we want to use the definition of the superpower wiki, right? If we want to use that, it basically says for logic defiance, which is basically like beyond common sense and stuff like that, is that users exist independently of universal, multiversal, or omniversal logic, or quite possibly all logic, and is capable of ignoring it as if it doesn't exist, allowing them to do things without any justification or reason behind them. This lets them easily do illogical, impossible things, and including defeating infinitely powerful beings with relative ease. Depending on the scale, the user may have power beyond any reason. That's the definition. That is the definition. So you could say that Luffy has logic manipulation, right? He is beyond logic itself. He is free. He is broken free from logic itself, right? He's physically just not bound by anything, by any laws of physics or anything that's fundamental, right? Nothing like that, right? And not only that, but Luffy in Gear 5 is even more crazy. Even more crazy because Vegapunk states that as the name of Nika will be erased from history, but as long as people desire it, its existence will never disappear. Desire it? Desire freedom? As long as people desire freedom, it will not disappear? Come on. That's fucking ridiculous. That's already fucking ridiculous. Come on now. That is the straight definition of abstract existence. If type 2 exactly. Or type 3. Type 2 or type 3. Abstract existence. Fucking crazy. Let's get into really crazy shit, right? Let's get into really crazy shit. Actually, as a matter of fact, not yet. Not yet. Okay, not yet. But let's go over some things, right? Let's go over some things of the abilities that what Luffy should have, and what he has some shown. So some of the abilities are from I'm going off what it says for superpower wiki, right? It will give you immunity bypassing, or bypass or ignore the power to be immune to everything. You can move without moving. You can basically control normalcy or something like that, or you can change what it considers normal. You can create and induce paradoxes to all reality if you wanted to. Be immune to paradoxes, negate or nullify paradoxes, can create any kind of endless possibilities. Think about that. Because no for possibilities. He can control the laws of physics, can achieve anything they want, control space-time continuum, being immune to most powers, so power immunity, alter laws that are he can alter laws that are very supernatural, manipulate laws and rules, able to do an infinite number of tasks in a finite amount of time, control any or all time related paradoxes, and can cause unpredictable changes to reality. That's only a few things. But since he transcends logic, right? He can even have like multiversal, omniversal manipulation, because he can manipulate anything bound by logic. Yes, anything that is bound by logic. Fucking crazy. Anything. And that's not even it. He can distort or twist or warp anything, bend, manipulate, or rewrite the laws of physics of all forms, create anything the user wants without any limit of what they can or can't create, and even metaphysics manipulation, because the user can manipulate metaphysics, which is the ability to deal with all things undetectable by the physical senses. Yeah. And metaphysics includes science, or go beyond it, or encompass all aspects and dimensions of existence and experience as reality. Yeah. Or he could just manipulate any paradox to be beyond common sense and phenomenon, which happens when it logically shouldn't. So that's like paradox manipulation. And that's only name some. Let me just show you what else is fucking crazy about Gear 5. This power means nothing to the forces that operates above logic, right? So it's like absolutes, right? Like or abilities driven from them, right? Or absolute abilities, because it exists entirely above logic. So this power is irrelevant to them. Or the lowest of meta concepts, or utterly beyond logic, or illogical alike. It is so that the power of a logic manipulator means nothing to them. Or Amani beings cannot be manipulated because they're not bound by logic. Basically, everyone, going off of what had just fucking happened, right? Like I said, it's pretty much give you freedom of more fundamental laws. This is just freedom itself. I'm going off of what freedom is, and since Luffy's on this list, we're going to go over the freedom stuff. So basically, he has the type 2 levels of freedom, which is basically users living anomalies that are completely free from one or more laws of reality, such as fate, laws of causality, basically, or logic itself. Basically, right there, you see it, logic itself. So right there, on a metaphysical level, Luffy is the most free. Now, going off what metaphysics are. I already probably went over this in my other video, but I have asked, right, in my server about metaphysics, and somebody answered. So basically what they said when I asked them was like, what is beyond common sense and logic? Does that make you outer? It depends on the logic, right? And I asked them what the logic has to be. The law of identity or binary logic. And I asked, can you describe those two? He says to think of binary logic is, I don't even know what the fuck that says, but like basically it's like duality basically. And law of identity is everything that is itself, like for example, Goku equals Goku or Link versus Link, or Link equals Link, right? So what he said right here, right? The law of identity, right? And it says depends on the logic, like law of identity. But it says here that in logic, the law of identity states that such thing is identical to itself. So it's in logic. The law of identity is in logic itself. So yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And you already know what I'm saying, people. You already know what I'm saying. But basically, right, it says like the metaphysics are pretty much like beyond physics, right? And is like pretty much undetectable by the physical senses. It could be like the science that goes beyond it. It comes to all the aspects of dimensions and existence, experience, in reality. Basically, the knowledge of understanding about the true nature of the physical universe. So, yep. You obviously the main concepts of metaphysics are basically identity and change, space-time, cause and effect, necessity and possibility. These are just name a few of them. So look what it says, the main concepts of it, the main concepts, right? And basically it says that the metaphysical or metaphysics pretty much exists beyond the concept of space and time. Yep, you already know where I'm going with this, guys. You already know where I'm going with this. This is already fucking crazy as it is. So Luffy on a metaphysical level just transcends the concept of space and time just by default. By default, okay? Yeah. This is just fucking crazy. Yeah. He's beyond like all logic. Transcends all logic, right? And it even says like I said before, Kazuki Odin's beloved wife says she transcends time, or just beyond time. So basically, what I'm going with this, right? Where I'm going with this is that their characters, the top tier characters, I'm gonna say top tier characters of the verse, are basically above 5D. Now I'm going to say why, because Toki basically transcends time, and transcends space as well, basically. And with that being said, she's 5D, right? She's already 5D. So she's 5D, right? We have a Luffy that with Haki, right? With Haki, it transcends all, transcends Devil Fruit, so that's like 6D. On top of that, 6D power per se, and the fact that Luffy transcends logic, that means he will transcend all human understanding within the universe, which is space and time, by Vegapunk, because he can warp space and time, the knowledge of all Devil Fruits. Yeah, he transcends those logics. So yeah, it's just, yeah. So Luffy just fucking busted at this point. Yeah. And that would mean Luffy is Outerversal. Yep, he's Outerversal. Outerversal Luffy. And I don't care what y'all say. Y'all care what y'all say. You can see the research for yourself, but Luffy is Outerversal. Now, there's also other different characters like Uta, but I will go over Uta in our own video. Uta gets her own video. She deserves her own video. Or, yeah, she definitely deserves her own video, because like she's already crazy busted. But before being done with this video, people, I would like to say that this only refers to the top tier of the verses. All the top tier of the verses are this powerful. Yes, Shanks, Kaido, Luffy, Blackbeard, all the top tier characters. Even the admirals, you can even get the admirals up there, since in the other books it says that they're equal to the uncles. Yeah. So basically, before I'm being done with that, there's also the immeasurable speed feat, right? One immeasurable speed feat is for Luffy is that where there was 2 clocks, both of them was different timing, which means that that time is flowing differently, and Luffy moved in that type of dimension, and it equals beyond literal time. So that's immeasurable speed in base. And you can see where this is scaling is. You could just tell me how y'all guys feel about that, right? But yeah, the One Piece verse is pretty much broken, so you could just stop all the downplay. All right, Luffy is definitely out of Versal. I know people are gonna say, okay, well, if it's metaphysical, right, then Goku is out of Versal too. Okay, I can hear those arguments now. I don't want to get into those. I really don't want to get into those. Okay, yeah, that means fucking Luffy is broken. Blackbeard should be even more powerful than that. He could be even more powerful than that, since like is able to nullify these abilities and stuff like that. But yeah, Luffy is freaking busted. Yeah, he is busted. He can just bust all of your favorite characters. He's just that fucking strong. Okay, so yeah, people, let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys think about this scaling. I know this is already crazy as it is, but yeah, Luffy is out of Versal, and that would means all the characters, all the top tier characters are out of Versal. Put some respect on the versus name. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and you guys have a nice day or night. Peace.